Nation instead assure the brutal dictatorship, state that they will not in any circumstances and that they will not intervene in the crisis in the southern Cameroon. And despite the fact that murdering and slaughtering continues, and I can assure you that the people of sons and daughters have used in every means they can, some even cut trees just to block their way out from the invasion of the foreign La Republique military. Some even cut down bridges and avoid this. Even they use all means just to protect their citizens and in the midst of this crisis. And therefore I am calling on the United States government that it is time that I understand that the United States government has already pulled its military, has withdrawn all the necessary assistance to this brutal dictatorship. But I am telling the United States government that they still need to do more. If Bill Clinton decided unanimously fought in the Kosovo against the crisis over there, today peace is ringing. United States did again against the people of the Iraqi president, the Iraqi brutal dictatorship, and today peace is still ringing. And therefore I am here speaking here this evening. I am calling, I don't understand that United States members, that some are sleeping, some are not even awake, some are doing. But I understand that United States works hardly. And so therefore I'm sitting here as one of the sons that is currently here in the United States. And I am asking the United States government that peace can only ring if the United States stood up, because United Nations office stood for the brutal dictatorship and against the will in which it was formed. Remember that the British Prime Minister William Churchill declared that the people of Britain shall never be invaded, and United States respond promptly, and Britain was defeated. So today I am raising this alarm to the United States government. I am not bringing something that United States government is not aware, but I am bringing this for United States to understand that the people of Southern Cameroon are in distress call. And I am going to show these images for you to watch and the painful experience that the people of Southern Cameroon are going through this by the invasion of a neighboring country. We would have expected the United Nations under the current Secretary General, but unfortunately he hasn't responded. We expect the current Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, would have responded immediately and called for a session of the United Nations to discuss the humanitarian crisis that is going on in Southern Cameroon. But however, he instead stood and assured the brutal dictatorship that his office would not intervene. Instead, he is asking the sub-director of the representative of the United Nations that is living on the wages of the brutal dictatorship. Imagine United Nations representative that is living on the wages of the brutal dictatorship, and United Nations is requesting him to intervene on behalf of United Nations. And United Nations is asking La Republique to investigate itself and report back to the United Nations. It's very sad indeed, and sad, and the souls are continuing to be murdered each day and each night, and as I'm speaking here this evening. Therefore, the people, the sons and daughters of the people of Southern Cameroon, they rely on the United States because the United States is capable to do this. The United States can do it alone. The United States doesn't require another nation to intervene. Remember that the brutal dictatorship always believe that they are so powerful, and because they are so powerful and nothing can happen to them. Even at the point of death, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya still believes that he's going to conquer. But today, the United States intervened, and today peace is not actually ringing, but it is the step of the process. So therefore, I am sitting this evening asking the United States government. I know you listen to my messages. I know you're going to follow my messages. But I'm asking the United States government that it's time to act and free the human crisis. So I'm going to present some of the images that is very horrific to the people of the citizens of the Southern Cameroon as they're going through this crisis. Remember, France is the architect of this brutality, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa. Despite this, if one will expect French government to be promptly and response, but unfortunately, you imagine that the French ambassador understands that there is an election in the neighboring country, La République, which is going to occur in October 7. And if we agree with me that there is an election that is occurred in October 7, and French government went ahead and invited this brutal dictatorship in December, therefore they are already aware that the election has already been rigged. And this is how the French government manipulate the African descent. And that is why I am calling on the great nations, the United States government. Because I believe in the United States government. I believe in the best interest of humankind. Nikki Haley spoke well about the crisis that she felt that she's gonna treat and gonna make sure that peace and security and the purpose in which the United Nations was formed. But unfortunately, she hasn't been able to deliver. And therefore, the rest now remain to the United Nations, United States government to intervene immediately. And so therefore, I'm going to start with the images that it's going to be painful to watch. Okay, this is a United Nations. This is a United Nations. Just take a few moments and listen.
Cameroon Anglophone, Francophone conflict. The shooting seems to be getting worse.
You're aware of the efforts by the envoy, Francois Gonçalves, and he has been working with different parties. As you know, the Secretary General and other officials in the system also have had discussions on this topic when they've been dealing with the question of Cameroon. But Mr. Fall is the person in charge of this basic issue.
The initiative at the moment remains with the President and Government of Cameroon.
Final special announcement from the ambassador.
You all heard the message. You all heard. It says the person responsible on behalf of the United Nations in the negotiation is Francois Lefort, who is a subsection in West Africa that lack the mandate, the decisions to make, that someone on the subsections that been delegated by the United Nations to act. That is very sad indeed. That is very sad. For example, when a single individual that happened to have crisis in Europe, the entire world and the United Nations called for an immediate session to discuss about the crisis. United Nations didn't ask the European sub-session to discuss about the crisis. United Nations didn't ask a single delegate. But when it comes to African descent, they're asking someone that has no power, absolutely no power. And the fact that Francois Lefort, the person that is asking that he is responsible, Francois Lefort, he's simply someone that is a France-controlled individual and that he lives on the salary of the La République government, the person that is supposed to be investigated. Remember, I spoke a few times ago. I said the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, who is also a Canadian citizen, is living on double salary. He's living on a salary paid by the La République and another salary paid by the United Nations. And so therefore she is a jeopardy. She lives on double salary. And therefore there is no account of what exactly is happening. Imagine, despite the crisis that is occurring, despite the crisis that is occurring in the southern Cameroon territory. She did not report until the Nigerian High Commissioner for Refugees report about the crisis, about the influx of refugees in Nigeria. But meanwhile, the United Nations current representative for refugees, who is residing in La République, have vehemently refused to report whether there was such a crisis. It's because she is living on double salary. The one paid by La République and another one paid by the United Nations. And you all remember that when the Secretary General of this United Nations traveled to Africa, he was given a goal. And you all are aware of this. And that is why he personally assured the La République President Paul Biya, through its representative, that the question of the Southern Cameroon case is not sure that it's going to be brought up or debate. And that is why they keep on referring to Francois Lefort to take over the cases. And that is why nothing is happening. And the murdering of the citizens, of the people of Southern Cameroon continue. And that is why I am speaking here. I am calling on the United States government that Nikki Haley speak about it. The U.S. ambassador speak about it. But other nations in La République remain silent as though nothing is happening. French ambassador is inviting the current brutal dictatorship in France in November 12 to 14. And you will expect that is someone that is conducting an election in October 7. So obviously, France already knew that he won the election, and therefore no contest should take place. And that is why I am asking the United States government that we, the people of Southern Cameroon, the sons and daughters of this, we can, in any circumstances, live together in this demagogy repressive system of government. And our people have already declared our sovereignty. But we are using every means to fortify and prevent the genocide of our sons and daughters. It's through collective effort by various citizens that is all in the diaspora. But however, I understand that the U.S. Department of Defense has already pulled its military, has pulled all necessary assistance. But I can let the United States Department of Defense that the weapon, the surveillance camera, the drones that you provided